Drummerly.com Unlimited Drama Series.
My name is Jack Morrison, and 3 hours ago, I thought I had a decent marriage. That was before I saw my wife's Facebook post while fixing my busted Honda in the driveway. Some husbands think they're irreplaceable. Living my best life and so vacation ready. 47 likes already. Her sister Amanda had commented, "Girl, you deserve so much better." I stared at my grease-stained phone screen, engine oil dripping from my fingers onto the cracked driveway. 22 years of marriage, and this is how I find out I'm disposable? Through a passive-aggressive social media post that half our neighborhood could see? The worst part, I knew exactly what this was about. Our Caribbean vacation, booked 6 months ago, paid for with my IT security salary, while she played HR manager at some tech startup downtown. The same vacation she'd been too busy to discuss lately. Always on her phone, always whispering. I wiped my hands on my jeans and typed a comment. "Good thing I'm not your husband anymore. Enjoy your vacation with Derek." Posted it. Then I opened our travel app and canceled everything. Flights, hotel, rental car. The whole romantic getaway she'd planned with her college boyfriend turned company VP. The refund hit my account instantly, $447. My phone exploded with notifications before I could even close the app. Melissa's mom, her sister, 3 of her book club friends. All wanting to know what was happening, what I meant. Was everything okay? But the best notification came from Melissa herself. "Call me right now." I didn't call. Instead, I drove my oil-stained Honda to Murphy's motorcycle dealership and bought a 2019 Harley-Davidson with the vacation money. Midnight black, chrome exhaust, the kind of bike I'd wanted since high school, but never bought because we need to be responsible, Jack. The photo I posted on Facebook was simple. Me straddling the Harley in the dealership lot, helmet under my arm, grinning like I'd just won the lottery. Caption: sometimes the best vacations are the ones you take alone. Irreplaceable Tsering new beginnings. Within minutes, my phone was ringing. Melissa's ringtone. That's that annoying pop song she'd programmed in because, "It's fun, Jack, lighten up." I let it go to voicemail. Then I did something I'd been avoiding for weeks. I logged into our shared iCloud account, the one she'd forgotten I had access to, and opened her messages. Derek Williams, VP of Strategic Development at her company. The same Derek Williams she'd dated in college, the one she'd mentioned running into at work, the one who'd been texting her every day for 3 months. Derek, can't wait for our trip. Booked us the penthouse suite. Melissa, Jack will never know. He's too busy with his computers to notice anything. Derek, after this week, you won't need to pretend anymore. I make 3 times what he does. Melissa, I know. I'm done living like this. He's so ordinary. I scrolled through weeks of messages, hotel receipts, photos of Derek's Tesla parked in our driveway while I was at work, plans for their future together, jokes about my boring job, my cheap clothes, my pathetic attempts at romance. The last message was from this morning. Derek, your post is perfect. He'll never see it coming. I sat in my car outside the dealership, engine running, reading through the evidence of my wife's betrayal. 22 years, 2 kids, our daughter Emma away at college, our son Tyler finishing high school. A mortgage, joint accounts, shared dreams that apparently weren't so shared after all. My phone buzzed. A text from my best friend Vince, who owned the MMA gym where I'd been training for the past year. "Dude, what's happening? Melissa's sister is blowing up my wife's phone asking if you've lost your mind." I typed back. "Just found my mind, actually. Meet me at the gym. I need to hit something." But first, I had one more stop to make. Derek Williams drove a white Tesla Model S, license plate winner. I'd seen it in our driveway twice, always with some excuse from Melissa about work emergencies or late meetings. The car was currently parked outside Brennan's Bar, the upscale place downtown where the tech crowd liked to pretend they were sophisticated. I parked my Honda across the street and waited. Through the window, I could see Derek and Melissa at a corner table, heads close together, her hand on his arm. She was wearing the red dress I'd bought her for our anniversary last year. At 2 a.m., they finally came out. Derek walked her to her car. my wife's silver Camry, the one I'd helped her pick out 3 years ago. They kissed in the parking lot like teenagers, all hands and whispered promises. After Melissa drove away, Derek stumbled to his Tesla, clearly having had a few too many craft cocktails. He fumbled with his keys, dropped them twice, and finally managed to get inside. I waited until his taillights disappeared around the corner. Then I walked to the 24-hour hardware store and bought spray paint, a bag of frozen shrimp, and a small crowbar. By 3 a.m., Derek's pristine Tesla looked like a different car. Homewrecker blazed across the driver's side in neon orange paint. The frozen shrimp went into the air conditioning vents, where they'd create a memorable smell once the sun came up. And the crowbar? Well, the crowbar helped me access those vents. I took photos of my handiwork and drove home, where I uploaded them to a new Instagram account. Irreplaceable truth. No caption needed. My phone started buzzing at 6 a.m. First Derek, screaming incoherently about property damage and lawyers. Then Melissa, crying and begging me to talk about this like adults. I made coffee and checked Instagram. My photos had been shared 43 times already. Apparently, Derek Williams had made some enemies in his climb to VP. The doorbell rang at 7 a.m. Melissa stood on our porch in yesterday's clothes, mascara smeared, holding her phone like a weapon. "Have you completely lost your mind?" she screamed before I could even say good morning. "Found it, actually," I said, sipping my coffee. "Turns out it was hiding behind 22 years of trusting the wrong person. You can't just destroy someone's car. Derek's calling the police. Let him. I'm sure they'll be very interested in those hotel receipts in your name, the ones charged to our joint credit card." Her face went white. "Jack, we need to talk." "No," I said, stepping back to close the door. "We really don't." But she pushed past me into our house. My house now, I supposed. And I realized this conversation was happening whether I wanted it or not. "You went through my phone," Melissa said, pacing our living room like a caged animal. "That's illegal. That's invasion of privacy." I sat in my recliner, the one she'd always hated, and watched her fall apart. Amazing how different someone looked when you stopped seeing them through the filter of love. The designer clothes I'd helped pay for, the highlights that cost more than my monthly gym membership, the manicured nails that hadn't touched a dish or a vacuum in years. "Our shared iCloud account," I corrected. "The one you set up for family convenience, remember? So we could share photos and find each other's phones." She stopped pacing. "That's different." "Is it?" "Because Derek's messages are pretty clear about what you two have been sharing." "It's not what you think." I pulled out my phone and read aloud. "Derek, yesterday at 2:47 p.m. Can't wait to be inside you again. Your response at 2:48. Jack's working late tonight. Come over at 9. Melissa sank onto the couch, her face in her hands. "Jack, please." "Oh, here's a good one. You, 3 weeks ago. Sometimes I fantasize about Jack just disappearing. Like, what if he had an accident or something?" Derek's response, "We could arrange that." Her head snapped up. "That was a joke." "Was it?" "Because there's 47 more messages just like it." The front door slammed. Tyler, our 17-year-old son, stood in the doorway with his backpack, taking in the scene. Home from his friend's house, probably expecting a normal Tuesday morning. Instead, he got front row seats to his parents' marriage exploding. "What's going on?" he asked, looking between us. "Your father's having a midlife crisis," Melissa said quickly. "He bought a motorcycle, and he's acting crazy." Tyler looked at me. Kid was smart, always had been. He could read a room better than most adults. "Your mother's been having an affair," I said simply. "For 3 months, with her boss." "Jack!" Melissa shrieked. "What? You want to lie to him, too? Add him to the list of..." "People you're manipulating?" Tyler set down his backpack slowly. "Is that true, Mom?" Melissa's mouth opened and closed like a fish. "It's complicated, honey." It's really not, I said. She's been sleeping with Derek Williams, while I paid for our life. They planned a vacation together using our money. She posted on Facebook about how replaceable I am. Pretty simple, actually. Tyler looked at his mother with something I'd never seen before: disappointment. Mom? Tyler, you don't understand. Your father and I, we've been having problems for years. So you cheat? Tyler's voice cracked. Instead of getting divorced like normal people, you cheat and lie and make Dad look stupid? Don't talk to me like that. Why not? You talk about Dad like that. I saw your post. Emma called me crying because all her friends at college saw it. This was news to me. Emma had seen it too. My stomach twisted thinking about my daughter, 200 miles away at State University, having to field questions about her parents' failing marriage from her sorority sisters. My phone rang. Vince's name on the screen. I have to take this, I said, stepping into the kitchen. Brother, you need to get down here, Vince said without preamble. Amanda's here with 3 of her friends and they're asking questions about you. Weird questions. Amanda, Melissa's sister, the one who'd commented supportively on the Facebook post, the one who'd always treated me like I wasn't quite good enough for her precious sister. What kind of questions? Whether you've been acting strange lately, whether you've been violent, whether I think you might hurt Melissa. Ice filled my veins. They're building a case. That's what I'm thinking. You might want to get a lawyer, Jack. I hung up and walked back to the living room, where Melissa was crying into Tyler's shoulder, while he stood stiffly, not hugging her back. Your sister's at Vince's gym, I said, asking whether I'm violent, getting people to say I'm unstable. Melissa wiped her eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. Let me guess. Derek's idea? Make me look like the crazy ex-husband, so when you file for divorce, you get everything? You're paranoid. Am I? Because I'm betting Derek's already talked to his lawyer. I'm betting you've already moved money around. I'm betting this whole thing has been planned for months. Tyler stepped away from his mother. Is that true? Of course not. But Melissa's voice was too high, too desperate. I opened my laptop and logged into our bank accounts. Our joint savings account, the one that had contained $23,000 last week, now showed $847. Where's our savings, Melissa? We needed... Where is it? Derek said I should protect myself financially, in case you got vindictive. Tyler stared at her. You stole Dad's money? It's not stealing, it's our money. Was, I corrected. It was our money. Now it's apparently Derek's money. I kept clicking through accounts. She'd been busy. Our emergency fund emptied. The college savings account for Tyler cleaned out. Even the joint checking account was down to the minimum balance. 22 years, I said quietly. I worked 60-hour weeks for 22 years to build this life. And you gave it all to your boyfriend. Jack, I can explain. No, you can pack. What? Pack your things and get out. This is my house. My name on the mortgage. My credit that qualified us for the loan. You want to be with Derek? Go be with Derek. You can't throw me out. I have rights. You have the right to hire a lawyer. You have the right to explain to a judge why you stole our life savings to fund your affair. You have the right to find somewhere else to sleep tonight. Tyler was looking at me with something like respect. Dad's right, Mom. You can't do this to him and then expect him to take care of you. Tyler, please. No, I'm staying with Dad. Melissa's face crumpled. This isn't over, Jack. No, I agreed. It's not. After she left, Tyler and I sat in the kitchen, eating cereal for dinner because neither of us felt like cooking. Dad? Yeah, buddy. I'm sorry she did this to you. I'm sorry you had to see it. Are you going to be okay? I thought about that. My wife was gone. My savings were gone. Half my friends probably thought I was having a breakdown. But for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. Yeah, I said. I think I am. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. This is Derek. We need to talk. I typed back, no, we don't. I'm trying to be civilized about this. Don't make me get ugly. Too late. You already got ugly when you started screwing my wife. Meet me tomorrow at Brennan's, 7 p.m., or this gets complicated for you. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I forwarded it to Vince with a note. Looks like Derek wants to dance. Vince's response was immediate. I'll be there. And I'm bringing friends. Brennan's bar was crowded for a Wednesday night, which suited me fine. Harder for Derek to make a scene with witnesses around. I arrived at 6:45 and chose a table with a clear view of the entrance and the back exit. Old habits from my army days, before I became the boring IT guy my wife had mocked in her messages. Vince sat at the bar, nursing a beer and pretending to watch the basketball game. Two of his gym regulars, Tony and Mike, occupied a nearby table, also pretending they weren't there for me. Good friends are hard to find, and I'd apparently found three. Derek walked in at exactly 7 p.m., wearing a suit that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. He'd cleaned the spray paint off his Tesla, but I'd bet money it still smelled like rotting shrimp inside. He spotted me immediately and walked over with the confident stride of a man who'd never been punched in the face. That was about to change. Jack.
90 days of calls to the same number. You bought a burner for her.
Give it to me.
One reason not to drop it.
Watch more on Grammarly.com.
He sat down without being invited. Thanks for coming. Derek. I kept my voice level. Thanks for fucking my wife. A couple at the next table glanced over. Derek's jaw tightened. Let's keep this civil. Civil? You want civil? I leaned forward. You've been screwing my wife in my house, spending my money and planning my humiliation for 3 months. But sure, let's be civil. Look, I understand you're upset. Upset? I laughed, loud enough to draw more stares. Derek, I'm not upset. Upset is when someone cuts you off in traffic. What I am is impressed. Impressed? By the sheer balls it takes to steal a man's wife, his money, and his life, then ask him to be civil about it. Derek glanced around nervously. People are listening. Good. Let them listen. Tell me, Derek, how long have you been planning this? The affair, the money grab, the public humiliation? Because that Facebook post wasn't spontaneous. Melissa's unhappy. She has been for years. So you decided to help her out? What a humanitarian. She deserves better than what you gave her. What I gave her, my voice rose. I gave her 22 years. I gave her a house, a car, vacations, jewelry, anything she wanted. What did you give her? A few hotel rooms and promises you'll probably break the minute someone younger comes along? Derek's face flushed. I love her. You love the idea of taking something that belonged to someone else. It's not about Melissa. It's about winning. You don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone and opened the screenshots I'd taken of their messages. Derek, March 15th. The best part about married women is they're grateful for any attention. Derek, March 22nd. Her husband's a loser, but he pays the bills while I get the benefits. Derek reached for my phone. I pulled it back. Don't touch me. Delete those. No. Jack, I'm trying to be reasonable here. Melissa and I are together now. You can make this easy or you can make it hard, but either way, it's happening. You're right, it is happening. You're taking my cheating wife and my stolen money, and you're welcome to both. But you made one mistake. What's that? I stood up, and Derek instinctively leaned back in his chair. You thought I'd just disappear quietly. You thought I'd be embarrassed and broken, and I'd slink away so you could play house with your stolen life. Sit down, Jack. You know what the funny thing is? I probably would have. A month ago, I would have signed the papers, moved to some apartment, and spent the rest of my life wondering what I did wrong. Derek stood too, trying to match my height. He came up short. But then I read your messages, all of them. The ones where you laughed about my clothes, my job, my car. The ones where you called me pathetic and boring and said I'd never fight back because I'm too weak. You are weak. The bar had gone quiet. Even the basketball game seemed muted. Am I? I smiled. Because I'm not the one whose car got redecorated. I'm not the one explaining to my coworkers why I smell like fish. I'm not the one who just lost his stolen money. What are you talking about? Check your phone, Derek. He pulled out his iPhone with shaking hands. His face went white as he read. What did you do? I reported the fraudulent transfers from our joint accounts. Turns out banks take theft pretty seriously, especially when you have evidence of conspiracy. I held up my phone again. Your messages planning the money grab? Those are evidence now. You can't prove anything. Derek, you literally texted my wife. Move the money to my account before he notices. That's conspiracy to commit fraud. In writing. Derek lunged at me. I sidestepped and he crashed into an empty chair, sending it clattering across the floor. The entire bar was staring now. You bastard! Derek scrambled to his feet. I'll destroy you. With what? Your suspended bank accounts? Your reputation at the company once HR finds out you're sleeping with a subordinate? Your credibility once everyone sees those messages? You're bluffing. I turned to the bar. Hey everyone, this is Derek Williams, VP at TechFlow Solutions. He's been having an affair with my wife and stealing our money. Anyone want to see the evidence? Half the bar pulled out their phones. You're insane, Derek shouted. No, I'm done being quiet. You want to play games? Let's play. Derek swung at me. I caught his wrist and twisted, using a move Vince had taught me at the gym. Derek yelped and dropped to one knee. Don't, I said quietly. You're embarrassed enough already. I let him go and walked toward the exit. Behind me, Derek was screaming threats and promises of lawsuits. The crowd was filming everything. Outside, Vince caught up with me. That was beautiful, brother. That was stupid. He'll come after me now. Let him try. You've got friends. My phone buzzed. A text from Tyler. Dad, Mom's freaking out. Derek called her crying, what did you do? I typed back, just had a conversation. How's your homework? Done. Are you coming home? On my way. But first, I had one more stop to make. Derek's apartment building was only 6 blocks away, and I had a feeling he wouldn't be going home alone tonight. Melissa's car was already in the parking lot when I arrived. I didn't vandalize anything this time. I just took photos. Melissa's car in Derek's spot. The lights on in his apartment. The silhouettes in the window. Then, I posted them on my irreplaceable Truth Instagram account with a simple caption. Some people have no shame. By morning, the photos had been shared 200 times. Melissa's book club friends, her coworkers, her family. Everyone could see exactly where she'd chosen to spend the night. My phone rang at 6 a.m. Melissa sobbing. Jack, please take down those photos. Why? People are calling me horrible names. My boss wants to see me this morning. My mother won't stop crying. Sounds like consequences. Please, I'll do anything. Anything? Yes. Give me back my money. The line went quiet. I can't. Derek's accounts are frozen. The bank won't release anything until the investigation is over. Then I guess you're stuck with the consequences. Jack, I'm begging you. You should have thought about that before you called me replaceable. I hung up and made coffee. Tyler came downstairs in his school clothes, looking older than his 17 years. Dad? Yeah? I'm proud of you. For what? For fighting back. The next 3 weeks were a masterclass in how quickly a life can unravel when the truth comes out. Derek got suspended from TechFlow, pending an investigation into his relationship with Melissa. Apparently, company policy was very clear about executives dating subordinates, especially when said subordinates were married to other people. Melissa got transferred to a different department and had her pay docked for conduct detrimental to workplace morale. Hard to maintain professional relationships when your coworkers have all seen Instagram photos of you sneaking around. The bank investigation moved slowly, but Derek's accounts remained frozen. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Patricia Chen, assured me that the evidence was overwhelming and that I'd recover most of the stolen money eventually. But the best part was watching their relationship implode under pressure. It's easy to be romantic when you're sneaking around, stealing someone else's money and planning your escape. It's harder when you're both unemployed, living in a one-bedroom apartment, and facing potential criminal charges. I knew things were going badly when Melissa started calling me again. Jack, we need to talk. No, we don't. Please, I made a mistake. You made a lot of mistakes. I want to come home. I was in my garage working on the Harley. The engine was purring now, all chrome and power and freedom. Everything my marriage hadn't been. This isn't your home anymore, Melissa. I'm still your wife. Not for long. Patricia filed the papers yesterday. Silence on the line. Jack, I love you. No, you don't. You love security. You love having someone pay your bills while you play around. But Derek can't do that anymore. So now you want to come back to good old reliable Jack. That's not true, isn't it? When's the last time you said you loved me when you didn't want something? She couldn't answer. That's what I thought. What about Tyler? What about our family? Tyler's fine. He's better, actually. Amazing how much happier a kid is when his parents aren't lying to each other every day. You're poisoning him against me. I don't have to. You did that yourself. I hung up and went back to work on the bike. Tyler found me there an hour later. Mom called me, he said. Yeah? She wants me to convince you to take her back. What did you tell her? Tyler sat on an overturned crate looking uncomfortable. I told her I thought you deserved better. You don't have to choose sides, buddy. I'm not choosing sides. I'm choosing right and wrong. Smart kid. Smarter than his old man, who'd spent 22 years ignoring the signs. Tyler, whatever happens with your mom and me, she's still your mother. Don't let my anger make you hate her. I don't hate her. I don't respect her anymore. Does that make sense? Perfect sense. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Amanda. We need to talk. Amanda. Melissa's sister, the one who'd been asking questions about my mental state. I showed Tyler the message. What do you think? I think Aunt Amanda's about to try to fix something that can't be fixed. Smart kid. I texted back. Talk about what? My sister. Your marriage. This mess you've created. I didn't create anything. I just stopped ignoring it. Meet me at Starbucks on 5th Street. 1 hour. Why would I do that? Because if you don't, I'm going to make your life very difficult. I stared at the message. Amanda worked for a law firm downtown. She had connections, money, and a vicious streak that made Melissa look like a saint. Bring it on, I typed, but Tyler grabbed my arm. Dad, don't. Why not? Because she's not worth it. None of them are worth it. He was right, but I was past caring about wisdom. I'd spent 2 decades being the reasonable one, the mature one, the one who backed down to keep the peace. Where had that gotten me? I'm going, I said, but I'm not going alone. Vince met me at the Starbucks, along with Tony and Mike from the gym. We took a table near the back, where we could see everything. Amanda arrived exactly on time, dressed like she was heading to court. Expensive suit, briefcase, the kind of confident stride that said she was used to getting her way. She sat down across from me without acknowledging my backup. Jack, Amanda, you look terrible. You look expensive. Business must be good. Cut the crap. We need to discuss your behavior. My behavior? The stalking, the harassment, the public humiliation of my sister. I laughed. Stalking? I posted photos of her car in her boyfriend's parking lot. That's not stalking, that's documentation. You're making her life hell. She made her own life hell. I just stopped covering for her. Amanda leaned forward. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to take down those social media posts. You're going to stop talking to reporters. What reporters? Don't play dumb. Channel 7 called Melissa yesterday asking about the bank fraud investigation. I hadn't talked to any reporters, but apparently word was getting around. Small town, big scandal. You're going to settle the divorce quietly, Amanda continued. 50-50 split, no fault, no drama. And you're going to leave Derek alone. Or what? Or I'd destroy you. How? Amanda smiled, and I saw where Melissa had learned her cruelty. I've been asking around about you, Jack. Your behavior at work, your drinking, your anger issues. I don't have anger issues. That's not what people are saying. Apparently, you've been unstable for months. Paranoid, violent. Your coworkers are worried about you. Ice filled my veins. That's a lie. Is it? Because I have statements from 3 people at your company saying you've been acting erratically. Talking about revenge, making threats. Bullshit. Amanda pulled a folder from her briefcase. Steve Morrison, no relation, I assume, says you told him you wanted to make someone pay for ruining your life. Jennifer Walsh says you've been drinking at work and talking about getting even. And your supervisor, Mark Chen, says you've been accessing company security systems for personal use. My heart stopped. Mark Chen. I'd used our security software to track Derek's movements, to verify when he'd been at my house. Stupid, illegal, and now Amanda knew about it. So here's the deal, Amanda said. Take the settlement, keep your mouth shut, and maybe I don't share this information with your employer or the police. You're blackmailing me. I'm offering you a way out. I looked at the folder in her hands. 3 statements, probably fabricated, but convincing enough to ruin me. Amanda had done her homework. I need time to think. You have 24 hours. She stood to leave, then turned back. Jack, my sister made a mistake, but she doesn't deserve what you're doing to her. Be the bigger person. After she left, Vince leaned across the table. She's bluffing. Is she? Has to be. Those statements are fake. Maybe. But Mark Chen isn't. I did use company resources to investigate Derek. That's grounds for termination and possibly criminal charges. So, what do you do? I stared out the window at the busy street, watching people go about their normal lives. People who weren't facing divorce, unemployment, and possible jail time because they'd trusted the wrong person. I do what I should have done from the beginning. What's that? I stop playing defense and go on offense. That night, I sat in my home office and made a list. Everything I knew about Derek Williams, Amanda Patterson, and the web of lies they'd built around my marriage. Then, I started making phone calls,